Hello everyone, fantasy football has just dropped and today I'm going to be showing you my first draft ahead of the season in about a month's time. Now, all of the players are more expensive than last time, which is a bit irritating. As a result of that, my goalkeepers, I've had to make them cheaper, which I'm not too happy about, but anyway, let's get into it. First of all, in net is Verbruggen. He's 4.5 million, he was alright last season, he was one of the top scoring goalkeepers. I wanted to pick some cheap goalkeepers, and I know you're thinking, what about Coventry, what about Ipswich, what about Hull goalkeepers? They are the same price as him. Their starting goalkeepers are 4.5 million, which is the same price as Verbruggen. Therefore, I'll just go with him. Now, fixtures wise, they play Aston Villa then Chelsea, which isn't too good, and in game week 5 they play Arsenal. However, they play Leeds at home and then Coventry away, which I think is quite alright. My first defender is Virgil van Dijk. He scored a lot of goals at the end of last season. We know he's really good. He is 6.5 million now, so he's gotten more expensive, but he was the third most scoring defender last season. And he's not too expensive because obviously I'm not bringing in Gabriel for 8 million. I'm happy with Virgil. The starting fixtures for Liverpool look really good. I think Virgil van Dijk is a solid pick for the start of the season. Next up, of course, it is Harry Maguire. I picked Harry Maguire as my second defender. The reason for this is that Man United have a lot of good starting fixtures. Harry Maguire, he's a good defender. He's solid as a centre-back. He gets his defcons. He's perfect. I'm really happy for him. He's a solid defender. Next up is Camvot from Crystal Palace. Now, you may be thinking, who is that? If you do know him, you'll know that he was a bit of a defcon beast when he got brought in last season. He was pretty good. He's only 5 million, which is the same price as Harry Maguire, but 5 million for a defender currently is quite good, since all defenders have been boosting price since like defcons have come into it, and then everyone's getting more points. So Camvot, I'm really happy with him. Now, you could have picked other Crystal Palace defenders, but I'm really happy with him because he's so cheap. They do play Man City in Game Week 2, but apart from that, he's a pretty solid defender to be playing. Now, my other defender is Mukiele. He's really good. Sunderland have some good starting fixtures. They play Ipswich away first, then Fulham, then Brentford, and then they do play Arsenal and Man City, which I'm not too excited for. But apart from that, he's good. He's an attacking defender. He'll get clean sheet points because Sunderland keep quite a few clean sheets. And also, there's always a chance of a goal or an assist. So I'm happy with him. I'm going to move on to my substitute players at the end. For now, in my midfield, I have Cole Palmer. Now, I know what you're thinking, Cole Palmer, why has he picked Cole Palmer? Now, Cole Palmer is currently 9.5 million, which is cheaper than last season, I believe. I think it was like in the 10 millions at the end of last season. Now, you don't really know what Cole Palmer you're getting. He did score a hat-trick against Wolves at the end of last season, which I was happy about. You don't really know if he's going to get played, if he's fully fit. He didn't get called up to England, obviously, so there's not really a current way of seeing how good he is. However, Chelsea's starting fixtures are quite easy, apart from they play Arsenal game week 3. Apart from that, they play Fulham, Brighton, Hull and Brentford, which is pretty good fixture. Palmer, he takes penalties for Chelsea, is a good pick. Now, obviously, I'm probably going to change some of these about. I think out of my whole team, Cole Palmer is the one that I'm not too sure about, which means he could probably change, and he is expensive as well. If I can find another midfielder to replace him with, I probably will. There's people like Gibbs White, Semenyo and Declan Rice, which I could go for, and Anderson as well, who's been moved up to 6.5 million, but I'll just have to think about it. Now, my next midfielder is Bruno G for Newcastle. Now, if you watch the World Cup, you'll know he was pretty good. In my opinion, I think he was the best Brazil player, even though Vinicius scored all their goals. Bruno G, he was really good for assists. He was really good last season for Newcastle, so I'm really happy with him. The starting fixtures aren't too bad. They do play Liverpool first. However, it's at home, so it's alright. And then they play Spurs, Bournemouth, Leeds and Hull, which are a good 4 fixtures. I'm really happy about them. Now, my other midfielder is Wilson. Harry Wilson. Now, he's just gone to Leeds from Fulham. Harry Wilson, he'll be scoring a lot of goals. I think he's a really good pick. Now, my other midfielder, of course, is Bruno Fernandes, the top scoring midfielder from last season by about 30 points. Now, he has gone up to 12 million. I think at the end of last season, he was about 10.4 million. So he's gone up quite a bit. However, Man United's fixtures, as I mentioned earlier, were really good, so I'm happy for Bruno Fernandes. I think Bruno Fernandes is one of them players that I can always rely on and always play no matter what the fixtures are. Now, obviously, with him being expensive, I had to make other players cheaper. However, my other midfielder costs 7 million, and that is Dominic Szoboszlai. I hope I pronounced that right. He's really good. Mo Salah has left. They might be playing him on the right wing. I hope they do. He also could be on penalties. We're not really sure. There's no real way of knowing. He did take some penalties last season, but also free kicks as well, set pieces. He's really good at set pieces and free kicks, as we saw, so he could be a really good pick. Now my final forward is João Pedro. He's been wanting to prove himself, especially since he didn't get called up to the World Cup. He's really good. He's one of the top scoring strikers. I think he was about third for top scorers for strikers. I think he's a great pick personally. Chelsea's starting fixtures. They play Fulham, Brighton, Hull and Brentford. However, they do play Arsenal. So same as what I said with Cole Palmer. I think Chelsea, you can target Chelsea. They've got a new manager. They've brought in new players. They've got Morgan Rogers now as well. Hopefully Palmer and Morgan Rogers will be feeding João Pedro goals. That would be great to see. Now moving on to my bench, my substitute goalkeeper is Petrovic for 4.5 million. He's Bournemouth's starting goalkeeper. So obviously I said earlier I need cheap goalkeepers. I want Shorey to get, so I brought in Petrovic. He and Verbruggen were both high scoring goalkeepers last season, which is why I brought him in. Now the fixtures aren't great. He does play Man City first. Then he plays Everton, Newcastle, Brentford and Liverpool. Not great fixtures, but he's cheap. I'll take him. I'm happy with him. My other defender on the bench is Kirkes for Liverpool. Now, Liverpool have a new manager. He used to manage Bournemouth. Kirkes used to play for Bournemouth under him and was class. That is why I brought him in. He's quite cheap. He's at 5.5. It's alright. I didn't really want super expensive defenders like Gabriel. I don't think it's worth it. So I've brought in Kirkes. Liverpool fixtures, they're good. Kirkes, he's really good as well, which is why he's in my team. Now, my two last strikers. I have Igor Thiago, who's the penalty taker for Brentford. He was really good. He was the second most scoring striker last season. They play Spurs, Leeds, Sunderland, Bournemouth and Chelsea. They are great fixtures. All it takes is one penalty and he's got a return. And also he just scores a lot of goals, especially against less good teams. Now, we don't really know how Spurs are going to be. But next up is Igor Jesus from Nottingham Forest. Now, I know what you're thinking, Nottingham Forest, why is he going for Nottingham Forest? So Igor Jesus is only 6 million. That's a cheap price. The fixtures are quite alright. At the end of last season, Gibbs White and Igor Jesus, they had really good link up and they became really good at the end of last season. Now he could change. I might change him and Palmer out. I'll have a look. There's not really many other forwards I want to get. Now I've heard people say Alexander Isak, maybe. Ollie Watkins I think is probably a good idea. Maybe I could swap out Palmer and Igor Jesus for Ollie Watkins and I don't know. Gibbs White, that could very well be a good idea. This is obviously my first draft and the substitutes like what you're seeing right now, that's probably subject to change. Like, I'd probably play my two forwards instead of someone else. I've just got to sort of work through it at first. Now, all players, they've all gone up in price. They're all expensive, which has made this much harder this season. However, I'm really happy with the team I have. If you look at all my players there, I don't really think you can criticise any of them. I think they're all capable of scoring points. It's just my goalkeepers. And I'm not sure Cole Palmer's fully worth it. I wouldn't bring in Morgan Rogers, I don't think. Maybe Enzo, maybe Caicedo. Caicedo, he is really cheap. I'll have a think about it and I'll be sure to release another draft another time. So if you can subscribe, you will be able to see my next draft. And also, if you have any advice or any questions, leave them down below in the comment section and I'll reply to them as soon as possible. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it and I'll see you all later. Bye.